Welcome to Recently Logged, where we could easily name a more iconic duo. Hip-hop rim.
Okay.
Why isn't it hip-hop?
Well, because I went with the jazzier sound rather than the hip hop sound.
Why are we not listening to Tribe Called Quest?
Hey, I would gladly listen to Tribe Called Quest. And I'm very sad.
Okay, whoa. The skateboard on the poster isn't an electric skateboard.
No, it is not.
What a ripoff.
Okay. Well, anyway, hello guys. Welcome to Recently Logged.
They changed the skateboard.
Okay, which we already said in the intro, but I wanted to say it again, more officially.
Oh, am I not official enough for you?
No,
Robbie?
just like as a greeting. Now that we're just talking and we're not like
I'm not official.
Yes. That's what I'm trying to say, Micah. I didn't know how to let you down softly. But yes, for those who don't know, this is a movie podcast where we talk about movies.
I think that's in the description.
I mean, it is, yes.
But this week we're talking about the 2021 Tom and Jerry.
Yeah, this will be our first 2021 film in 2021.
Well, so far it's been quite an interesting year.
I was about to say that, up until we watched this last night, I had not seen any other 2021 movies.
Right? Like, I had my 2021 ranked, and I had Earwig, which technically is a 2020 release. It just didn't release in America until 2021. And then Ratatouille, the TikTok musical, which isn't anywhere near a movie.
I mean, yeah, no, it belongs on YouTube. It's not on a movie. Ratatouille.
But yeah. Now we've seen it.
Now we've watched a real movie in 2021.
Now 2021 is complete. We watched a movie from 2021.
Hey, we watched two movies last night, actually. So.
It's true, and they were both 2021, and one was significantly better.
They were both kids' movies, too.
They were both kids' movies.
They were both kids' movies involving CGI animation
creatures
on top of live-action footage. Pretty crazy.
Yeah. All right. Do we want to get into the basic facts of the movie?
I suppose we probably should.
Yes.
Keep the ball rolling, as it were.
The ball.
Okay. Well, do you wanna tell us what this movie is all about, Micah?
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Tom and Jerry is a 2021 film rated PG. It's 101 minutes.
I think we had already established
the little IMDb.
2021 part.
The little IMDb description is it's an adaptation of the classic Hanna-Barbera property, which reveals how Tom and Jerry first meet and form their rivalry, which is not true.
It's not accurate at all. But
you did not watch the movie. The cast consists of...
Marcus like, I don't even know.
We've got Chloe Grace Moretz, I think is probably just how you say her name.
Which is a dope name, by the way.
Michael Pena.
Of course.
Jordan Bolger.
I don't know.
Rob Delaney.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about him.
Patsy Farron.
Okay, Patsy Farron needs all the recognition for this.
And then, technically speaking, we have William Hanna and Mel Blanc as Tom and Jerry. But,
I mean, like, they're not actually, like, they weren't hired on to work on this movie, so.
It was just archived sound footage or whatever that they used for Tom and Jerry in this, which was quite something.
Yes.
Especially being that all of the other animals talk in this movie but them. And even Tom's inner voice talks, and it sounds nothing like
I mean, to be fair, they don't talk in the cartoon, like, and other like animals do. So.
Yeah, but it just doesn't make
no,
sense.
It doesn't make any
universe.
sense.
They just don't talk because
they're just like, yeah, they don't talk. Of course, he sings that song. I don't know what the heck was happening in that scene, but he sings a song.
Right, he sings a song.
I was like, is this like a dream? What is happening right now?
It's directed by Tim Story, the hit director of the Fantastic Four movies.
Which ones? Like the old ones? The Chris Evans
the Chris
ones?
Evans ones.
Okay. Well,
it was written by Kevin Costello.
I mean, shout out to this movie for only having one screenwriter, but maybe they should have brought someone else in.
And yeah, that's really about it. There's not too much interesting trivia or anything in this, I don't think.
We watched it on the premiere thing for HBO Max, like when it was supposed to be having its theater run if it wasn't for, the global pandemic and whatnot.
Oh, dang, this is sad.
What?
Sad trivia.
No, not sad trivia.
This is the first Tom and Jerry feature film to be made without the original creators William Hanna and Joseph Barbera because...
Oh, dang.
They both died.
That is sad, yeah.
Dang.
Oof.
All of the post-production crew worked on it from home.
Things are becoming a lot more clear now.
Oh my gosh. This had an IMAX release?
What?
Dude, this is you could have Tom and Jerry movie to have an IMAX release.
You could have gone and seen this bad boy in IMAX.
Wow. That's awful.
Sorry, pardon me. I'm just yawning.
It's also the longest ever Tom and Jerry feature film.
I mean, look at the runtime. That's not surprising. This thing's edging on 2 hours. It's getting close.
Wait, Tim Story voices the pigeon?
What?
The Tribe Called Quest pigeon is voiced by Tim Story.
First of all, Fife is dead, and then you're gonna disrespect him by putting Tim Story as the fake New York accent pigeon.
Dang.
This is just sad.
Dang. All right. Well, we see what we're going into with the basic facts.
Yes. Okay.
So let's get into.
I was about to say you guys might be getting this sort of vibe about our thoughts on Tom and Jerry already. So let's just go into what we think about Tom and Jerry.
Let's go into those basic thoughts.
All right. So what did I think of the 2021 film Tom and Jerry?
What did you think?
You might ask.
Of the 2021 film Tom and Jerry.
Wow, what do you know? He did ask. I believe I summed it up in my Letterboxd review, in which I said not good. Which I mean,
good.
like I did say not good. It's not like it's not like an absolute train wreck like I kind of feared it would be. But at the same time, there's hardly anything good about it, kind of thing.
Yeah, if I can interject even a little bit here, it's like really not good, but it's like not good in a different way from what you expect.
Yeah, like it's not like as awful as I expected it to be, but like it was just bad in other ways. So yeah, what to say about Tom and Jerry? It's a really bad adaptation of the cartoon. Like Yogi Bear, I miss Yogi Bear. Give me back the live action Yogi Bear. That movie slaps.
Right?
This does not.
I'd say the live action Yogi Bear is a pretty faithful adaptation.
Yeah, no, it's actually like good. But this, it feels like, how would I word this? It feels like someone had an idea for a Tom and Jerry movie. Like
was an idea.
Someone sat down and was like, Tom and Jerry movie, and the studio was like, heck yeah, they're an old like animated duo.
Let's make some money.
We haven't seen like animation live action blends are pretty in right now if you're doing it in a cool way.
Like Sonic.
Exactly, like Sonic. No, not like Sonic. Yeah, sure, go for it. We could make some money off of this. And then like someone sat down, it felt like they had like a couple different story ideas, and then they just were kind of like, yeah, go for it, and they threw it all in a screenplay, and they were like, yeah.
No, you know what it feels like? It feels like somebody was planning a rom-com movie. They were like, yeah, let's do this. Their funding
You're
got cut.
not wrong.
They're like, you're working on Tom and Jerry now.
You're working on Tom and Jerry now.
And they're like, well, we have the script here.
Oh yeah, I mean, I guess like you got what's her face, Kayla, in the big city, and she goes and gets hired. Yeah, this sounds like a Hallmark movie.
No, I swear it feels like they had this movie about Kayla conning her way into this hotel and then helping with the wedding. And then later they were like, yeah.
Oh yeah, Tom
and Jerry need to be written into this.
Oh yes, Micah, I've been going through all of our scripts, and this is the perfect fit for Tom and Jerry.
Tom and Jerry just aren't the main characters in the slightest.
Yeah, no, it's interesting on IMDb that it's listed as how they meet, which is true. In the plot line of this movie, they meet each other for the first time.
I don't know.
Canonically.
I still feel like that was kind of confusing, though, because I kind of felt like they already knew each other. Like, just from, like, like an outside standpoint, like, looking at, like, how they first meet in movie, I was like, oh, so they already are,
there's like a long,
like, with the way they're interacting.
Yeah.
I was like, normally they don't just like, people don't just like beat up on each other like this, right? And I'm sitting there because like this world doesn't really make sense.
No, this world makes no sense.
Got, every animal is CGI. Like
it's anything that is organic and is not a plant or a human being, it is animated.
Right? And
it's weird.
And like the humans recognize Tom almost as like this, like they hire him, they give him a name tag, they give him a hat, they're like, yes, it's Tom, he's working for us. They treat him like, you know, a sentient being.
The jaunty cap is quite funny.
But like then they get treated like animals for a lot of the movie. They get sent to the pound, and like also, nobody like the humans don't comment at all about these two like creatures totally like trying to destroy each other, and I tried to think of maybe it's just like in universe cartoons are kind of invincible. Like, are these like cartoons like in Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Yeah, like in Roger
the
Rabbit.
toons
Yeah.
are just a different thing from the humans.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
No. Well, yeah, that was my basic thought.
Sorry, I just...
Mike has apparently been waiting to get this out of his system. Okay.
There's a lot to talk about here.
But yes, screenplay equals not good. The animation looks like... I think at the end, I like... Because I kept saying while we were watching this movie, I was like, the animation is reminding me of something, like the way it's lit and everything. It looks like... I think what I landed on was like Sonic Boom or something. If it was graded like a Ghibli movie.
Wow.
So it was just a side thought. But what did I think about it on the whole? It's not good. It just feels like a really disjointed movie, in a lot of ways, both thematically, plot wise. Especially, it's not a good Tom and Jerry adaptation by anyone's standards, I don't think. I mean, they're in it, sure, but they're not even, like, acting themselves most of the time. So, I don't know. It's not good.
Yeah. Okay, is the
Yes,
okay.
Go into yours, Micah.
So
say something.
My basic...
I'm giving up on you.
My basic thoughts on this are, yeah, it's real bad. It's just so weird that it's not a Tom and Jerry movie. Like, it's Tom and Jerry
in a movie.
They're just not the main characters at all.
It's like Scoob.
Well, yeah, but Scoob makes sense because Scooby-Doo has always been the title, even though Scoob is always just kind of...
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, Mystery Incorporated, they're not the main... Like, they're not the only thing going on in that movie.
Well, yeah,
like, you spend more time with other people.
But even with Scoob,
well,
like,
yeah.
Like, you still spend
it's
a
not
decent
as extreme.
amount of time.
It's not as extreme as this, but I'm just saying Scoob is kind of similar.
Like, in Scoob, for you to use that as an example...
Just another Hanna-Barbera
Mystery Incorporated kind of and, you know, Scoob... They all had plot relevance.
Yes.
Tom and Jerry have no plot relevance.
I mean, they have plot relevance in the fact that they're
a minor inconvenience.
Yeah, I was about to say they're just a speed bump. Like, literally, if you removed Tom and Jerry from this movie, it wouldn't change very much.
And that's what I was saying. Like, it feels like this was just a different story that then got Tom and Jerry thrown into it because, like, you have Chloe. Chloe shows up and she's like, Yeah, her name's Chloe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, her name's Kayla in the movie, but yes, the actress's name is Chloe.
You have her show up, and she's like, the entire movie, you got a Joker poster in the opening of the movie.
Oh my gosh,
and you
the
have
Joker
like
poster.
And you have like this opening showing the three, Tom, Jerry, and what is her character's name? Kayla,
Oh my
all
God.
doing things because society pushed them down or something like that. This movie says society in its opening. They're all cheating people just to get ahead in society.
I see.
And I was like, okay, fine.
It's called a hustle, sweetheart.
Yeah, exactly. And then like Kayla cons her way into working at this hotel, and Tom and Jerry just like fight for some reason. Like Jerry
tries to straight up just steal his money. Like,
yeah, but still, like after their initial fight, they're still just like fighting for some reason. So then like we don't even. That's it. We drop Tom and Jerry. We go over, and then it just follows Kayla at the hotel, and then Jerry ends up going to the hotel. But, like, he's not important.
He becomes the lodger, a story of the London fog, Micah.
I don't know. The moral of the story is the plot alone would be enough for me to not like this movie. But then you also have
then
such
you mess
weird
it up more.
creative decisions in it.
Yeah.
The hip-hop soundtrack
Okay, the jazz hip hop soundtrack does not make sense in this movie.
We open with like pigeons singing as Tribe Called Quest, like just pigeons singing it, and this happens multiple times. The pigeons will just come in and sing a song, and like it's so weird.
I will say, Micah, the soundtrack for this movie bangs outside of the context of the movie.
Outside of the context,
like if you just had the soundtrack like titleless blank cover album, I would be like, yeah, this kind of rocks.
But then but it doesn't work at all.
No, it doesn't work at all in the movie.
And then you add that with the animation, and really I hate their character models. The lighting on them just looks so bad. And then like there's this one scene where Tom is on this wire and rain is hitting him, and it's just the worst looking thing I've ever seen in one of these like CGI real life.
It looks like a weird, like a family game, like one of those budget family games that you'd buy on PS4 or something.
Right, it looks like a really really low budget 3D game. And yeah.
But yeah, let's get more into the main discussion. We've covered what
there was
think.
one more thing that I wanted to say, because there is actually like you said, there are actually some funny moments in this.
Yeah, no, I laughed.
And for a while, when it's just focusing on the not Tom and Jerry part of the plots, I was like, it's
not a bad movie.
In my thoughts, I was just like, this isn't like good, but it's not awful when it's just that.
Yeah, when it's just the hotel stuff, I'm like, yeah, this is actually kind of fun. I'm getting into it.
But then, like, every time it gets kind of fun, they do, like, some bad joke or have some really insane plot point or just cut in with Tom and Jerry.
Yeah. But anyway, let's get into the main discussion, Micah.
Yeah.
So, Micah, what do you have any questions to kick off our main discussion of Tom and Jerry 2021?
What is your name?
What is your name?
I had one, but I couldn't. I had one while I was watching the movie.
Wow.
But we'll just go with the classic. What is your favorite scene or sequence?
Were there even any scenes in this movie?
Probably not.
That's my question. Was it like was there? Did someone say like, here's a scene? Favorite scene.
Usually it's hard to pick because there's so many good ones.
It's hard to pick because they're just none that come to mind.
None that come to mind.
I think I'm gonna go with the hiring of Tom. That scene has some funny stuff in it. Why not? I can't think of a better scene.
Yeah, a good scene.
Is that an okay answer? Is that all right?
That's fine. I can't even think of anything. Like every scene in this is just like not good.
Yeah, just like when I think of a scene, I'm like, Oh, yeah.
Um, man, was there any good moments of Tom and Jerry in this, like, at all?
My least favorite scene is the Tribe Called Quest pigeons flying in as the intro.
Second least favorite scene, Tom playing the piano and singing.
Okay, that we will have a separate section for that.
Man, I can't think of a single good scene in this. Like, are there any, like, just, like, good moments of Tom and Jerry? Because I want to do, like, a Tom and Jerry thing for Tom and Jerry, but, like...
I mean, the hotel room, the initial thing is...
But that's not fun. Like, that's
no,
the
it's
thing.
not.
They never have any fun, like, fights.
Yeah.
They fight like they would in the cartoon, but it's not fun. It's not funny. I guess it's supposed to be funny because they're destroying real world stuff.
I mean, it is impressive. It all looks really good, but like
that's one thing. The blending of the CG, like not the animation itself.
The animation doesn't look
great.
The
blending of like the actual stuff.
But the way they interact with the world looks pretty seamless.
Right? I never noticed in the movie at all like any like mistakes of the CG characters interacting with the world.
Yeah. I don't know, like
good scene.
A good scene question. Like at my review of Tom and Jerry.
You gotta help.
Good scene.
Maybe what's a good scene?
I don't know. Every time a scene comes to mind, I'm like, but that scene kind of sucked. Actually.
I'm trying to think of one with that joke that I actually laughed at, but I can't remember the joke.
I laughed at the joke. I laughed at the fish as head of a department joke.
That was a funny joke, but that's
basically anything with Rob Delaney in it. I was like, yeah, that's kind of funny.
Rob
actually.
Delaney is There you go. I'll just cite Rob Delaney.
Mike is like, do a super cut of every Rob Delaney scene in this, and that's my favorite scene.
Because he was in the scene that I'm thinking of. I just can't remember what the joke was.
Wow, that's really a testament to this movie,
right? But yeah, Rob Delaney.
Rob Delaney, my man. He's got a killer mustache in this too.
Right? That mustache. It's the way to go. Yeah, do you have a question?
I do have a question, Micah. You mentioned the soundtrack earlier. What do you think? How do you think the soundtrack generally affects the movie? Like, do you think it would be different if it was like an early 2000s pop soundtrack or something?
I think it gives the movie an interesting vibe because you have these moments happening and you cut in with like hip hop and jazzy hip hop, like more 90s hip hop feel anyway. And like you cut in with all of this stuff and it just gives what's happening on the screen a weird vibe. Like almost like it's supposed to seem like cool. Like, I don't know, like you have these hip-hop songs, and they're framing these characters in a way that I think you're supposed to think, like, wow, they're so awesome, but it's not, and and I just wish it was, like a goofy score or something, because, like, you have these moments with Tom and Jerry that could be, like, you know, fun, but a lot of what makes this stuff like actually comedic is knowing that it's supposed to be comedic and having like a fun score to go with it.
Yeah.
Instead, you have. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're coming to basically the same point. I just think it's interesting that they departed this much from the original like sound of Tom and Jerry, because Tom and Jerry they've obviously been scored in the past,
right?
And it's such like an odd departure from that.
And then, like, it just doesn't, like, work.
There doesn't seem to be any reason to give it that.
There's no reason in movie to have a hip-hop soundtrack.
Although it is a pretty nice soundtrack.
And it's actually interesting, one of the top Letterboxd reviews was, like, it's insane how committed this is to not being like Tom and Jerry.
Yeah, I was about to say there's like nothing Tom and Jerry about this. If you just changed like the character models and the names, like there would be almost no reason for me to be like, I wonder if this was originally supposed to be Tom and Jerry.
Right, just like make it a cat and a mouse, just some random cat and mouse, and nobody would question.
I was about to say, like literally the only Tom and Jerry thing they do is chase each other around, and it's like that's not exclusive to them,
right? And even when they would have callbacks to like classic way like looks for Tom when he's like when he's getting self-hurt and stuff, like when he got smushed in the thing, and it was just like that one thing in the cartoon, or when he gets
it feels so wildly out of place in this movie,
right? Like every time they try to do some of like the normal Tom and Jerry like visual comedy that makes Tom and Jerry
I was about to say the only thing about Tom and Jerry that works.
It doesn't work in this movie because that's not what this movie is at all. It has nothing to do with visual comedy, and because Tom and Jerry aren't important.
Yeah.
So and even when they first got introduced, and that's what I was saying, them beating up on each other in this universe feels so out of place because it's not visually funny in a real like in a real life universe, because there's nothing for them to interact with in a funny way. So it's just these two CGI blobs beating each other up so much.
I was about to say, they're just beating the crap out of each other for an hour and 40 minutes.
And people are just like, wow, there's a cat and a mouse. And it's not Tom and Jerry, you know?
Yeah. It's just weird. This movie is weird.
Here's a question, though. What do you think of the soundscape of this movie? Like, with like specifically the CGI, like characters.
I said, like none of this stuff would be out of place in like a Hallmark movie. They don't use any like hardly any, I should say. They do use some, but they hardly use any like cartoon sound effects. You know, like I don't know, like that. The original Tom and Jerry is so like audio. And visual. Like if you watched it silently, it wouldn't be as funny.
No, yeah.
And it's just it like I can hardly even remember if they use it in the movie, like, you know.
No, I honestly don't think they really use any like sound effects for the characters, like the CG characters.
Like I don't know, it just feels it feels like they just are another. Like it feels like they're just another human character in the cast,
right?
Like they don't feel like Tom and Jerry. That's the problem.
Yeah, the only way they're effectively Tom and Jerry is just because the plot needs them to be cat and mouse Tom and Jerry.
Yes,
it doesn't need and really like the plot only needs them because like somebody was like, yes, we need Tom and Jerry in this. So write it like this.
I was about to say, I guess they needed to give Kayla something to do to fill out the runtime a little bit, but like, I don't think this is the best choice.
Right, because like the main plot, technically speaking, revolves around this wedding.
The wedding, yeah, it's a wedding.
With these two like influencer characters or whatever. I don't know what they are doing.
Like, it's like I don't even know what they do.
And Kayla is like, after Michael Pena's character tries to get like Kayla fired or whatever because, you know, he figured like he doesn't like Kayla and she's not who she says she is.
Yeah.
He ends up getting fired. And then like the main like conflict of the movie is what like will Kayla pull off this wedding even though she's not a real wedding, like even though she's not a real employee with any training.
Yeah.
And you're like, what does this have to do with Tom and Jerry? Like, the only way it connects to Tom and Jerry is just because Jerry stole a wedding ring. Or an engagement ring.
Which then he just gives back.
Right? He gives it back. Like, you think they're gonna be like... Cause she even is like, hey, I'll trade you. Maybe I can get you to stay in the hotel for, like, forever if you give me back the ring. But then that doesn't happen, and he just gives her the ring.
Yeah, like... I don't know. Almost every writing choice in this movie is, especially pertaining to Tom and Jerry, is just so baffling. I don't get it. Like, why would you do this?
And then like for the main conflict, the main character Kayla's literally just like, hey guys, leave for a while. And then they just leave.
And then they leave.
And then they only come back because evil Michael Pena is like, you guys gotta come back. Kayla wants you there.
What's up with evil Michael Pena, though? Like, when did that happen?
Right? Like, sure, he's like... I don't know. Like, it's so weird how, like, the series of events that get him fired because he was just a decent employee. Sure, he's a little rude.
Yeah.
But, like, he was doing his job.
It's like if SpongeBob had no manners, Micah.
Sure.
He just loves the Krusty Krab.
Yeah, but, like... Like, he gets fired, and, like, he then, like, becomes completely malicious.
Yeah.
When before, like, yeah, he was rude to Kayla and everything, but that's because Kayla was a bad employee.
I was about to say, Kayla just wasn't a good employee.
She didn't have any experience, and he could tell that she was lying. So, yeah, it's just so weird. And then it just comes together, like, in the end, and again, the final thing, like, the final conflict of, like, hey, will the two of them get back together?
Will they get back together?
Not Tom and Jerry.
Will Tom and Jerry do something?
Will the couple get back together? and like, will Kayla redeem herself even though she didn't need to because somehow she planned a literal perfect wedding if it wasn't for Tom and Jerry coming back in?
That's the thing. Michael Peña's character literally planned the whole wedding, and she just kind of stepped in at the end and, like, just watched it unfold.
Well, even then, like, even what she did though was hard to execute. It's so crazy.
Yeah.
She,
like the
wedding,
elephants
the
and
wedding
everything.
went off perfectly.
Yeah.
Like, what?
I don't know.
But
man.
then, like, the entire end conflict, like the final conflict, has nothing to do with Tom and Jerry. It's will the couple get back together? And again, Kayla's just like, hey, Tom and Jerry, go get her.
Go get her.
And they're like, okay.
Okay.
What?
Yeah, honestly, if I'm being 100% honest, I think I would just prefer the Hallmark movie with Kayla in the big city
Kayla
trying to
in the
plan
big
a wedding.
City. Do it like a Jessie style comedy.
Okay, when we first started the movie, I was like, it's just like Jessie.
Right? It is just like Jessie.
Dang, Jesse's a fun show.
Jesse's more fun than this.
Jesse's more fun than that. Wow,
man,
go watch Jesse. It's a fun show.
Anyway, though, do you have any other questions?
I don't know. I feel like I thought there would be more to talk about with this movie, but there really so far there really hasn't been that much. Like, so far our points have been this shouldn't be a Tom and Jerry movie, or rather, it's not a Tom and Jerry movie. The score is weird, and, like, everything is bad.
Everything, like, all the creative choices just don't make sense.
Yeah. But I just thought we'd have more to talk about. What's another good question? What did you think of, like, I know we've kind of talked about the look of the movie, but, like, do you want to elaborate more on that? Like, what did you think of how the animation actually looked in the movie? Because so far we've just kind of said it looks bad.
So, like, the thing is, my problem isn't with, like, the animation. Like I said, I think all of the movements and all of the stuff moves really seamlessly into the world. I think props to the people who did that.
Yeah,
that looked good.
It's crazy. That must have been a really well like storyboarded movie.
Yeah, but it's the character design and like the 3D models of these characters and the way they interact with light in the world that I think looks so bad.
Yeah, it's interesting because they look it's I'm trying to think of a good equivalent to this. It looks like kind of like Spider-Verse, where it's like it's a 3D model, but it's meant to look kind of two-dimensional.
I was about to say, and if you pause
which is
the movie,
quite nice, yeah.
It looks, it looks pretty good because they're supposed to look like 2D animated characters. But I so wish that they were actually like Pole A, Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
I was about to say Pole Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Nobody does
and just
that
make
anymore.
it 2D.
Like why is 2D animation dying? It's literally so much better. But yeah, like, because you have these characters trying to replicate a 2D look while being 3D like Spider-Verse, but you don't have the immersion of the characters and the lighting and the effects that they put on them in Spider-Verse. Like Spider-Verse, they put a lot of work to get them to look not just like 2D 3D models. They made them look like comic book characters with the effects they put on them, and it really helped. If you see them take off, if you've ever seen
take off
like
the
behind like cut deleted scenes,
the
or
plain
anything
3D models look like garbage.
Yeah, the plain 3D models do look pretty darn bad. Like if you just slapped those 3D models up somewhere, they don't look good.
It looks like some crappy like app game. Is
right?
What it looks like.
But because they put so much effects, like so many effects on them, and made it look
so good
in post after even doing the animation, make it look as like 2D, 3D as possible with its stylization, it works really well. But this, you have these characters with no effects over them. It's just the 3D models interacting with light.
Yeah, the lighting isn't even that good.
And then you throw them on a real world, and they just look so out of place. And I think this is interesting too. I think almost every other CG character looks better than Tom and Jerry.
Tom and Jerry. I mean, the dog looks pretty bad too.
The dog looks, yeah.
But he's all gray, so like.
But like the other ones, almost are way more convincing as 2D characters, even though like 3D 2D characters.
Yeah.
Like the cat, like the small cat, I thought looked really good.
The peacocks looked good too.
The peacocks looked good. I thought the elephants looked good. The fish in the market looked good. Like everything that's not Tom and Jerry.
The fish in the market
looked good, and they all looked way more 2D than Tom and Jerry do.
Yeah, it's weird. Maybe they just shouldn't have put as much money into the models, Micah.
I don't know.
Because apparently the ones they spent less time on looked better.
Right? Like, the dog and Tom and Jerry have the most screen time out of any of the CG models, and they look all the worse.
Yeah. I don't know. Is there anything else to mention with this? Like, are there any other aspects you wanted to bring up? We've covered the lighting, we've covered the screenplay.
I mean, the acting wasn't great.
Yeah, I mean, well, like I said, it feels like a Hallmark movie in the fact that, I mean, no one gives an especially bad performance.
No.
Maybe the husband.
Yeah, I was about to say probably the husband. I mean,
but like I don't know.
I'd be trying to crash that wedding. She deserves better.
She deserves better. Wow.
She does, man. How did he end up with her?
I was about to say, like, no one gives an especially awful performance, but like, yeah, they all just feel like either they're phoning it in or they're just not doing great.
Yeah, even like Michael Peña's performance was just weird. It wasn't bad.
Oh, it's weird, yeah.
And like I like Michael Peña, and he's just like weird.
He's weird in this. Like if this was the first time I saw him, I'd be like, I don't know if I want to see another one of his movies.
The only good performance was
Rob
Delaney.
Heck yeah, I would watch Rob Delaney managing his hotel like show or movie or something.
Especially if he has that mustache.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, I'd watch that.
So far, the only thing we've praised is Rob Delaney.
It just reminds me of crap. I just lost the name.
What, the
of
mustache?
It. No, like, well, just his entire vibe in the movie.
Oh, Rob Delaney. I mean, he looks like the same in Deadpool.
What's that? Yeah, I know, but what's the show? That one show.
Oh, dang it! What is that show?
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Isn't it like an HBO show?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mad Men?
Mad Men.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the vibe he gives off.
Wow. Wow.
I can't believe we were on the same page there from me just saying that show.
Well, is he in Mad Men or something? He looks like he could be.
Is he in Mad Men?
Hold on.
What's his face is in
Hold
Mad
on,
Men.
I'm looking it up. John Hamm or whatever. Mad.
Side. Wait, cast.
John Hamm, Elizabeth Moss. Elizabeth Moss is in Mad Men? Huh. I do not see his name in
Cast
here.
didn't pop up on Google.
Oh, I was just looking on Wikipedia. It's probably not the most.
He looks like he could fit in that. He looks like he could slide right into Mad Men.
You just want him in Mad Men?
Yeah, he wouldn't be out of place.
Well, there you go. Wow. We just took like a solid minute trying to figure out if he's in Mad Men.
I was just, that show, that HBO show,
Mad.
I don't even think it's HBO.
No, I don't think. Well, I don't know.
I don't know. It gives off an HBO vibe.
It feels like it should be an HBO show.
Anyway, yeah, dude, I don't think there's really anything else. Do you want to do just closing thoughts?
Yeah, let's go ahead and wrap this up.
Before I was so rudely interrupted by our producer, I had an interesting thought.
Okay, you know what? Wow.
Why didn't they do the Muppets 2011 style movie with this? That would be interesting.
I was about to say, I guess that movie does have like the quote unquote real world plot of Mary and Gary.
Gary and Mary, Rippy.
Yeah.
It's not hard.
It's like they literally make it so easy for you.
But
you fool.
But it's like classic characters coming back, and it's a little bit easier to write them because they are a show in universe.
Yeah.
But you could have done something similar to that, like have Tom and Jerry be reuniting, coming back. Be a revisiting, like a revival to it, not a I don't know
what this is,
whatever this is. Anyway, that was
the Hallmark movie with Tom and Jerry tacked on.
Anyway, that was just a random thought. Go watch Muppets 2011.
It makes me wonder, Scoob was Hanna-Barbera, right?
Mm-hmm.
Makes me wonder why they because they have Droopy in this movie. And I don't know if that was just supposed to be a fun cameo or if they were gonna try and set up like a cinematic universe or something.
But I think the Hanna-Barbera properties are like that's like different generations of Hanna-Barbera properties.
No, I know it's different generations. It's just odd that we had two different mediums trying to make like Hanna-Barbera films. Like obviously Scoop is trying to set up a universe,
obviously,
and it's just I just thought it was interesting that like they would even include other characters with Tom and Jerry in this.
Yeah, and it was just such a weird cameo. It was and it was also like a Silence of the Lambs reference.
I was about to say, we have Droopy both in the context of Joker poster and Droopy in the context of Hannibal.
Why is Droopy both Joker and Hannibal?
What are they trying
happened
to say?
To Droopy, man?
What does this mean thematically, Micah?
Anyway. Closing thoughts.
Let's wrap it up.
Do I want to close first since you opened first?
Sure, yeah, you can do it.
All right, my closing thoughts on this are it's really not good. There's not hardly any redeeming elements of this movie at all. We kind of talked about like pretty much everything there is to talk about. And the only good thing was like Rob Delaney.
Wow.
Like there are some enjoyable moments. It's not like horrible to watch or anything.
Yeah, it's pretty watchable on the whole. Like it's a little boring.
There are even a couple moments where I laughed. I did almost like get on my phone for a while during it because it really is boring.
Yeah.
But it's just so mediocre and just not what it should be, really. Like it's not a Tom and Jerry movie, so I feel like nobody will remember this at all. Nope. I probably won't even remember this movie. Like somebody will be like that Tom and Jerry 2021 movie, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I remember that got made," because the plot is not what it's advertised as. It's not a Tom and Jerry movie. It's just some random movie that Tom and Jerry just so happened to show up in, and that's fine, I guess. It's not like absolutely terrible. But it's really boring, uninteresting, not very funny. It doesn't allow Tom and Jerry to be Tom and Jerry like they should be. And it just ends up being
boring.
Not good. Like boring, not good, not funny.
Yeah.
The best stuff in it are the stuff that's not Tom and Jerry, and that's kind of sad.
Yeah.
Especially being that it's the first Tom and Jerry like major property to be made after Hanna and Barbera died. Like, come on, guys.
Get it together.
This is what you do?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that pretty much sums it up. Like, I think I was excited for this when I saw the trailer.
I was not.
But, like, I was cautiously optimistic about it. But, like, I don't know. It's so weird because it is marketed as like a Tom and Jerry rivalry movie, and their rivalry is literally almost not important at all in this movie.
Oh my gosh, you know what I forgot to mention?
What did you forget to mention?
I should have cited that as my favorite scene.
What?
The pound interrogation room scene with the split screen
editing.
Oh my gosh,
that scene is so good. Like, unironically, that scene is great.
That was an amazing
Okay,
scene.
never mind.
Hold up, I'm citing that as my favorite scene.
Yeah, that's my favorite scene. Okay, that's
got like some Ang Lee Hulk style editing, man. It's so good.
That scene is actually good.
The text, oh man, that is a genuinely really fun scene.
Okay, well, there we go. We found another positive. I had totally forgotten about that. Yes, that scene rocks. Okay, what else was I gonna say? Oh yeah, yeah, it's just a really boring movie. I wouldn't bother checking it out unless you just had time to kill.
Yeah, unless you're specifically just trying to watch a bunch of movies from 2021. There's literally no other reason to watch this movie.
I mean, if you're a big Tom and Jerry fan,
but it's not a good Tom and Jerry movie.
No, it's not. But I'm just saying, like, if you're like a completionist or something and you want to watch every piece of Tom and Jerry media, I guess watch this.
Yeah.
But it's not that good, and it's just really boring. And why is it about a wedding?
Right. and one thing though, before we go, like I saw so many people, same thing with Scoob, that like got really excited when they saw the trailer for Tom and Jerry. But I don't know, from the moment I saw the trailer of this, I just was like, no, that's not gonna work.
No, it's not gonna be good, guys. Tom
and Jerry need their CGI environment, or at least their 2D environment.
Their cartoon environment.
They need cartoon. Putting them in the real world just strips so much from them as characters, because they're some of the most cartoon, like classic cartoon characters. Like even a lot of other like Warner Brothers and Hanna-Barbera and stuff like that cartoons, they have other things than just like cartoon humor. They have like, you know, relatively characterized characters with like, you know, things that you'll recognize beyond just them being cartoons. But Tom and Jerry, literally what Tom and Jerry is like visual comedy within the realm of cartoon. Like they are just cartoons.
That's literally it. Yeah.
That is what they are. You can't take them from that.
Yeah. It's whack.
So yeah.
Looney Tunes back in action is better.
Watch it. It's true. Watch it to get your own opinion, but like also don't watch it.
Be warned, Micah.
I gave it 1.5 stars. Wouldn't suggest.
Wow. I don't know what I would have rated this. Probably like a 2 or a 1.5 or something like that. That's about where it lands.
All right. Well,
that
was Tom and Jerry.
Let's get into our final segment of the podcast, the closer, if you will.
The very final segment.
Wow. The last segment we'll ever do.
The segment to end all segments.
All right, well, here we are now.
For those of you who don't know, the What We Watched segment is just us going over briefly what we watched over the week since our last episode.
Yes, indeed.
It's actually kind of relates to how we got the name Recently Logged, because this is our diary on Letterboxd of stuff that we recently logged since it's called Logging a Film.
Amazing.
So that's a little bit of... little tidbit of trivia for you.
Little fun facts here.
We went on like a short little like vacation. Technically,
a long weekend.
Technically, it counted as school for me because science
counted as school.
But we didn't watch much.
Yeah, our last episode was Tenet, and a majority of the stuff I've watched since then has been like shorts and stuff to fill out my favorite film from every year list. So. Like, I haven't watched that many movies.
Actually, the majority of movies I've seen has, not majority, almost half, because I've watched 5.
Almost half.
Were just last night.
Yeah. Oof. Well, yeah, let's go ahead and get into what we watched.
So on the 22nd, which was the podcast, we did Tenet, so we're doing stuff after that. So
yes.
Go check out the Tenet episode.
I watched without Micah, unfortunately. Were you in the room for this?
I don't know.
You don't know? How could he not know?
It doesn't look...
You don't know?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I might have been working on my video or something.
Yeah. But yeah, I watched Murder! It's a Hitchcock movie. from earlier in his career. Not as bad as Rich and Strange, but pretty
Oh,
mid.
wait. Was this the one where the lady, the actress, got accused of killing someone?
Yes.
Yeah, I was working on my video.
Okay. She's not an actress, though. She was just a person.
No, she wanted to be an actress.
What?
Yeah, she wanted to act, stage acting.
No, Micah, she was just a regular person. There was a theater troupe involved.
Yeah, but no, she had said in one of the interviews when I looked up that she had always wanted to be an actress.
Okay.
She had even tried auditioning for something, I thought.
If you say so. I don't think that's accurate.
I think that happened.
Okay, but yes, I watched a mediocre Hitchcock movie. I'm trying to watch all of his movies. And this is, just pretty mid-tier Hitchcock. I mean, it's really early on in his career, but he still has a lot of talent on display as a technical filmmaker. Quite good. A lot of interesting camera work in this.
Speaking of my video, though, go check it out. It's out right now. M. Greyway Films on YouTube. It's an interesting video. It's actually doing very well. So go watch it.
I also want to give a shout out to this. It's not feature length, but me and Micah watched Epilogue, which is the Daft Punk farewell video, which was actually really good. I didn't know what I expected. It was a really good short.
I don't even like Daft Punk, and it was really well done.
I'm really sad to see Daft Punk splitting up, but I mean, they had a really great career. Like, I would be sad more if it just kind of fizzled out after a bad release. So,
yeah.
I mean, like, sad to see Daft Punk go, but we got an awesome discography and a great short film out of it.
Good on them for leaving.
Yeah, good on them for leaving
on an album that they're happy with.
Literally, the Random Access Memories is probably one of the greatest albums ever made. So, I mean, why not leave on top? You know.
I don't know about that, but yes.
But yeah, we watched that. It's good. Go watch it.
Then on the 24th. We watched. Did you watch it? I thought you watched it with us.
I wasn't really watching it.
We watched the audiences loved Geostorm.
Audiences loved Geostorm.
We watched Geostorm, which I actually had wanted to watch this when it came out, but we never did, and it was pretty darn bad. It's actually kind of crazy because like most people I know gave this like 1 star or half star, and I don't think it was that bad.
I mean, I didn't watch it, but I like heard all of the movie. I just didn't watch all of the movie. It seemed pretty bad.
It was like I would put it on like a level with like Independence Day and The Day After Tomorrow as just like not good disaster movies.
Independence Day is better than Day After Tomorrow.
They're boring. Not much happens, and they don't really use their like premise at all. Like. I don't know. Independence Day is probably the best out of those 3, but I don't know. I would put them all around the same tier of just uninteresting disaster movies.
Well, there you go.
But hey, at least the disaster stuff looked good in this because they had money.
How was the color grading, Micah? Was it all gray?
It was all gray.
Oh, God dang it. Why does this always happen?
Literally the only interesting stuff that ever happened in it were the specific moments of disaster just because it was visually interesting.
Wow.
That was it. I gave it 1.5 stars.
And then we watched... Oh, yeah. I was like, wait, what else did we watch? And then I was like, wait a minute.
We watched an amazing movie.
We stayed up all night, baby, and we watched Suspiria, the 1977 one.
I actually had to stay up all night to work on said video that came out because I had a...
Wow, you're just going to beat this thing into the ground, huh?
No, I just wanted to give context because we watched this at like 3 or something maybe, and it was really it's a really good late night movie.
Yes, it is. Like literally, Micah said, "What should we watch?" I'm like, you know, it would be a really great late night movie, Suspiria,
and then
he's
we were
like, "You're
yeah.
right, yeah,"
and it was,
and then it was.
But yeah, man,
we're gonna do an
episode on it.
Got to do an episode on it.
It's so good.
It really is. It's fantastic.
I was about to say go watch Suspiria, but with your parents' permission. Go watch Suspiria.
Yeah, it's rated R. Be warned, it is a rated R movie, but I mean, like,
it's an old rated R.
Yeah, like, it's not that bad. If you can handle, like, what's something
I don't know, any modern action movie with gore.
I was about to say, I mean, they have like they show like the heart getting stabbed, and there's a lot of cutting open of people, but I don't know, it's not that bad.
Yeah, it's pretty cheesy gore. It's stylized gore.
Yeah, I don't know. It's on my top 4 favorite movies of all time. I love it so much.
That lighting, though.
That lighting.
Oh, and by the way, for
Good.
context, just
Stuff.
a little tidbit for people who want to check this out. It, technically speaking, doesn't have an original language, so because like if you're like us, we like to watch everything in like its original language that it was made in.
Well, yeah,
but a lot of times in the 70s, especially
Italian
filmmakers did sound afterwards and just had any of the actors speak whatever language they spoke. So the technical, like what most people consider to be the definitive version of this, is in English because most of the actors speak English.
Yeah, most of the actors you can tell spoke English when they were shooting it.
But no matter what you do, it's going to be dubbed.
Yeah. My main complaint with dubs, is just it looks bad most of the time. But like the main reason is you don't get the original director's direction for the actors.
Yeah.
Like that's the director's whole job, is to direct the actors and the crew.
Yeah.
And you don't get that with a dub. But I mean, he probably directed all of the dubs for this. So.
Yeah. I think it was released in Italian, German, English, and French.
Yeah, I think French, maybe Spanish too. I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I give it 4.5 stars. Suspiria is very good.
Mike is like, Suspiria equals good movie.
Then
I didn't watch anything else until last night.
Yeah, I watched Jurassic World on the road trip.
Jurassic World.
What a goofy movie.
What a joke.
This is such a I love the Jurassic franchise, I guess you could say.
Jurassic franchise.
But the world section of the franchise is so goofy.
I wish
Jurassic World is fun, but it's just fun. That's about really all you can describe it as. There's not much to it. It's not awful. It's not great.
I don't have fun with it.
I think it's just a fun movie to turn on.
Bro, I gave Jurassic World a 4.5 when I first watched it. I don't know what I was thinking. I was out of my mind.
Wow. I want them to finish the trilogy so I can make a video on it, because I really want to make a big video talking about this trilogy versus...
It's such a baffling trilogy.
Versus the original trilogy, because I have so much I could talk about with it.
The OG trilogy is interesting, too.
Yeah. But I give it 3 stars. I think it's a fun movie.
Yeah.
Then we watched Tom and Jerry.
And
then, technically speaking, on the 1st of the month, just because it was so late.
Today, Micah.
Today, we watched...
On the dawn of Women's Appreciation Month or whatever.
Heyo. We watched...
it's Women's History Month.
We watched a female-directed movie.
Heyo.
We watched Flora and Ulysses, the Disney Plus original.
Oh, boy.
And, it was actually pretty fun.
Yeah, not bad.
It wasn't
pretty good.
It wasn't great.
It wasn't great. No. I think the 3.0 average is perfectly on par for this. Yeah. It's exactly what it should be.
It's got Ben Schwartz. It's got Danny. I don't know how to say his last name. Community guy.
Yeah, the guy from Community.
It's got Willow from Buffy. It's the cast is really fun. It's just a fun movie.
Yeah, no, it's a fun time. It's better than Tom and Jerry.
Much better than Tom and Jerry.
I was like, maybe literally after watching Tom and Jerry and watching this, right after, I'm like, maybe this movie's actually a masterpiece.
maybe every movie is a masterpiece besides Tom and Jerry.
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, that's what we watched. I watched a couple other shorts and stuff, like I said. Was there anything notable? Not really. If you're looking for a good time though, just to give it a shout out, I watched one of my favorite Looney Tunes episodes of all time.
Probably the best Looney Tunes.
If you've never seen One Froggy Evening, it's on HBO right now. Just search One Froggy Evening and watch it. It's only 7 minutes long, so
it's amazing. It's worth your time.
It's literally one of the funniest things ever put to screen, I think. So yeah, just wanted to give it a shout out.
It's true. Yeah.
Wow, this is probably our shortest episode so far.
Yeah, of this season.
Not bad. Well, yeah, obviously not of the whole show, just of this season. It's just this season we've been going into the hour 20 mark.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
All right, shout out to my YouTube channel.
What?
Go watch all that.
Why not shout out to my YouTube channel?
You haven't done anything on YouTube. My YouTube channel is popping right now. My YouTube channel is at an all-time high.
Wow. I need to watch your video, I guess.
Yeah.
I haven't watched it yet.
Anyway, thanks for listening,
Yeah,
guys.
thanks for listening. Sorry, this was probably kind of more of a boring episode. I expected there to be more to talk about with Tom and Jerry. Like, we picked it out before we had seen it, and there just really wasn't. There's not too much to discuss.
I mean, I thought it was relatively interesting to talk about. But yeah, we'll be back next week with probably something interesting.
With something interesting.
I have an idea for what we could do, but I don't know if Robbie will want to do it. So
I don't know. I never, to be perfectly honest, I never really feel like doing this until and then we do it, and I'm like, yeah, I mean, I guess.
He doesn't. For some reason, he calls himself the host of this, even though I'm the one who actually has to push him to actually do this.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just lazy. That's the problem.
Yeah. Anyway, have a great March.
Have it, yeah. Women's History Month. Woo. Maybe we'll do like Hidden Figures or something.
Go watch go watch some good female directed movies.
Heck yeah.
Go watch Little Women. Go watch.
Heck yeah.
Go watch Greener Grass.
Greener Grass.
Go watch.
Bro, Greener Grass rocks. I think we talked about it last
What I'm trying to think of, I don't remember. I was pretty sure it's female directed, but The Farewell is, right?
Yeah, Lulu Wang. She's going to come out with a new movie soon, too.
So watch The Farewell.
That movie rocks,
Masterpiece.
Man.
Masterpiece.
Name another 5-star movie with a singing dog in it, Micah.
Right? Dang, maybe I really should do this for the video this month, because, it fits with the...
Oh yeah, by the way, if you are not listening on YouTube, like if you're only listening on YouTube, it's not available to you, but if you're listening on our podcast platforms, you can find our farewell episode that we did a long time ago. That was like season 2. It wasn't that long ago.
YouTube just blocks
YouTube just blocks
farewell related.
Anything that has the farewell's name on it, so...
Crap, we've said it too many times, we're gonna get blocked.
Yikes. All right, well, goodbye guys.
Bye.
See you next time.